Okie doke. So, Hella and I are on the ferry from Winslow to downtown Seattle. She drove beautiful all the way here, except for one minor hiccup where after getting gas, I left the parking brake on, which I never use the parking brake. Don't know why I even said it, but I did. And everything came to a smoking, lurching halt at about 45 miles an hour, which was, of course, a big drama. No fire, thank goodness. And it wasn't my drivetrain exploding like I figured it must be. So my God, rookie mistake there. I've just had lots of nervous butterflies taken off with this brand new drivetrain. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about, is believing in yourself. And I had a very abusive stepfather for a couple years that really did a number on me. Drilled it into me that I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough for anything. Didn't matter how hard I tried, I wouldn't be good enough. And that's really lingered in my life. I've conquered the majority of that, but I notice it squeaks in. A little demon kind of shows up when I'm having any kind of doubts about myself or I'm anxious about, especially something I've taken on and done, like this massive, project of repowering Hella with a new engine and transmission, where we literally fabricated all the linkage, the mounts, everything is custom. And I was responsible for all the engine assembly and all that stuff, and Paul did all the fabricating and guided me on some other details. But this thing falls largely in my lap, fly or die. And that's I put a lot of pressure on myself. But along the way, I've had to keep kicking that demon's ass about not being good enough, because it's just an old habit. This stuff from our childhood really lingers. And anyway, I see it for what it is and call it out. And I'm finding a way to relax in my spirit and enjoy the ride and have some faith. I mean, if something out of the dozens and dozens of parts and systems that I've installed and we've fabricated fails, it's mechanical. It's a machine. I'll fix it. I'll fine-tune it. It's all brand new, and everything's working so far. I mean, I rewired this entire rig as well and changed it from 24 volt to 12 volt and did an isolated battery system. And I mean, I just did a ton of work, over 200 hours of labor every day working in that shop for all of January. It's literally 4 weeks ago today that we got on this same ferry and came over. And now I'm going back under our own power with new drivetrain. So I guess the point of what I'm saying is I didn't feel ready to make that leap, but I knew I had to. And I took the leap and trusted my experience, threw myself into it full-hearted, and learned a shitload of new stuff. And I know so much more now. Things that I knew I didn't know when I started, when I took on the project, but I knew I'd learn as I go. Have just enough mechanical experience that I knew I would, and I did. And I've come a quantum leap, and it's amazing. So I want to encourage you to take those leaps, and don't be afraid because you don't know everything. Just go for it. I mean, it's not surgery. It's not like your life is in the balance with most of these leaps. We tend to feel like it is and project that onto it, but that's just that demon, and that's just that ridiculous anxiety, that fear that's not based in any kind of fact. Focus on our failures instead of focusing on how much we've grown and learned from those failures, because we all fail. So anyway, I have no idea what week update this is. I've totally lost track of time. I feel like I am a civilian all of a sudden, like I've been on duty somewhere. And being in that shop without any transportation stuff except for when Paul and Karen needed to go to town, or we'd run for parts. And thank you again, Paul and Karen, you guys made this possible. Wouldn't have been possible without you. Not even close. So I love you guys. And yeah, time to get back to the business of regular life. Got some stuff going on. I'll keep you posted. And I've got to do some mom care in Olympia pretty soon. So I'm kind of going to be running around on a few different tangents, but I'll be back to full-time Jackdaw business a little later this month, and back to my regular life, regularly scheduled program. Got a lot coming up for Jackdaw this spring. It's super exciting. And thank you for following me. looks like we will be arriving shortly, so I'm going to wrap it up. Namaste.